Okay, so I just got back from my brunch date. This is date number 2 out of the 5 I have lined up. And man, he was gorgeous. He was 6'3". He's been an engineer at Apple for 11 years and 39. He was way out of my league. And he did not ask for my number at the end of it. He was really kind and, paid for brunch and everything I offered. He declined. Like, such a gentleman, perfect guy. And I just know that I won't be hearing from him again. Wah! However, I would not have been able to get a date of his caliber in LA. So no regrets, and I'm still considering moving here.
She was so happy to go on a date with the 6'3" man called Wang that she did not even care if she got rejected.
These women want Chad, even though they're not on his level. They don't mind being treated as a cum doll by these Chads. She got rejected. She still felt happy because Chad noticed her. Pathetic. Check these tweets out. Never simp for women, they simp for Chad. These are literal things that these girls have done from that thread. They have risked their lives driving through hurricanes and storms, driven 8 hours, lied to their family numerous times, left their little siblings unattended to, snuck out in the middle of the night, fucked in a grass field, kneeled in dog shit, booked a flight, and flew across the country, called their ex-boyfriends to drive them to new boyfriend's house to get dick, climbed through windows, spent $200 on an Uber, got arrested, climbed a fence, got a STD, broke into the wrong house, biked 10 miles, took bus trips at 11 p.m. at night, walked 4 miles, and been chased by dogs, all for Chad's dick. And then there's the normal guy, who can't even get her to come out for a dinner date that he was willing to pay for. My time as a wingman for Chad. Chad is a lawyer and was working on USA or Russia oil business contracts in New York City. Every 2 weeks, he would fly up to New York City for a week and work with his Russian counterpart. He was doing this for 4 to 6 months, always on the same flights. One day, a stewardess at American Airlines asked him if he would like to spend a week with her in Hawaii. He could fly on her companion fare, round trip, for $100 and split the cost of the 1-bedroom hotel room at $62 a night. As Chad is telling me about this, sarcastically I say, and the problem is, he says he knows he could get better-looking women in Hawaii and bring them up to the room for sex. He didn't want to bring them to the room while the stewardess was there. He had no doubt he could find women to have sex with. The issue was the stewardess. Chad is out with a friend of mine. He is in his late 40s, but looks like he's in his early 30s. 2 women, ages 22 and 26, have the hots for Chad. They are asking my friend about Chad to get the inside track on him. These women are topless dancers. How do we know? They said so. The end of the night, Chad gets both of their numbers. Chad would go to singles events, not to find a girlfriend, long-distance relationship, or a possible wife, but to restock his harem. Women who go to singles events may be a bit older and are actively looking for a man in their life. These women are easy prey for Chad. The best these women will be is an 8. Chad is a USDA Grade A 100% certified solid gold 10. These women think they hit the jackpot when all he is interested in is a quick and easy lay. He would date or fuck them for a few times, but once they started talking serious long-term stuff, I mean marriage or kids, he would block their phone calls and delete their numbers. Women never asked why such a good-looking man in his late 30s or early 40s was never married or had kids. He was single for a reason. He didn't want to get married. Why choose one woman when he can have many? And that is exactly what he did. Chad and I are to meet at a singles event. He is already there. I am waiting to get inside. We see each other through the doorway. There is a woman 30 to 32, 5'7", wearing a light brown woman's business suit. She is in shape, slender, and the suit fits her well. She has a darker brown purse over her shoulder that matches her brown shoes. She took care to dress herself, and it showed. If she is not the most attractive woman at the event, she is one of the more attractive women at the event. She is by herself in a corner of the room. I am planning on approaching her once inside. She starts walking, so I keep an eye on her. She walks right up to Chad. She gives him her name and phone number. I set Chad up with a woman I know in my homeowners association. Chad picks her up. She is so mesmerized by his looks, they don't go out. They go to his place for sex. How do I know? Chad tells me. Chad and I are at a C&W bar. Chad says, "Oh no, this is going to be painful. I didn't want to run into her." I look up to see the backside of a woman pass behind a wooden column that holds up the roof of the bar. A second later, the first thing I see emerging on the other side of the column are huge breasts, then the woman. She then turns and is walking towards us. She is 42, 5'8", has a mane of blonde hair piled 2 to 3 inches on her head, flowing over her shoulders down to her elbows. She is a former Miss Sweden and has been in TV, radio and movies. She has her own advertising company and has her own money. She is beautiful and in shape. She wants to marry Chad. Chad wants no part of it. I worked at GE as a field service engineer. I would get a new car when my old one hit 60,000 miles. I'm talking to Chad on his purchase of a new Ford Explorer. He mentions he bought it at a certain dealership. He said his salesperson was a woman about 25. She was below average in looks, but had huge breasts. Her breasts made milk, even though she was not pregnant. She had a hormone imbalance, and they made milk all the time. He would go to her apartment 2 to 3 times a week to drain her breasts, and she would drain his balls. I later realized the dealership he bought his Explorer was the same dealership that I was to get my new company car. I went to the dealership showroom floor, and there she was. She's wearing a shirt 4 to 5 times bigger than her normal size. Her breasts were pineapple size almost down to her waist. She looked as he described her. Maybe a 5 for the face, so on the body. Chad and I are at a C&W bar. A girl asked me to dance with her girlfriend. After dancing with her, I asked the girl if she would like to dance with my friend, Chad. When she meets Chad, her eyes go wide open. She's grinning from ear to ear. At this point in time, she tilts her head to the right, with her tongue hanging out the right side of her mouth. Both of her hands are balled up under her chin as she is staring up to him with goo-goo eyes. She made a fool out of herself. We are talking about a 42-year-old woman, not a 12-year-old girl. I look at her, then at him, then straight ahead, and think what the fuck is going on here. But this is how women responded around him. He was like catnip to women. They would lose their minds and act stupid. Chad gets her number. They go to his home a few days later. There is a hot tub outside. They climb in, but she says no to sex. This is on a Tuesday night, but she says call me Thursday. Thursday night, they have sex in the hot tub. By the way, she was the regional director of Bally's President and First Lady Health Clubs. She visits various clubs in various states to make sure they are clean and maintained. Thus, this was going to be a one-night stand for her. She would never see him again. But a good man, he will have to prove himself worthy of her in the city where she lives. No 6-day sex for him, and all with her hamster's approval. The Russian lawyer he was working with on oil contracts was a 27-year-old woman. She was blonde and average in looks and body. He showed me a photo of her. He told me she stayed with him the final month before the contracts were signed in New York City. He was 52 at the time. She was 27. He only had one bed in his home. Where do you think she slept? As I said earlier, don't simp for women, they simp for chads. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers!